That's a good beer. You know, our next concert with the Rochester Symphony is called Revolutions in Music. And not every piece creates a revolution. We have three that really do. We're talking with Beethoven. Beethoven, probably the most revolutionary composer who ever lived. He had the models of Mozart and Haydn, both of whom he knew. Pretty tame composers, beautiful. But he wrote two symphonies that were modeled on theirs, and they just sound like, well, Mozart and Haydn with extra energy. But then he had a problem. He was deaf. And he thought that his career was over. He couldn't do what musicians are supposed to do. He couldn't hear. So he removed himself, went out in the country in a village, and said he was just going to die. But he had nothing wrong with him. He didn't die. So he moved back to Vienna and started writing music again. The next big piece he writes is his third symphony, Eroica Symphony, and it's a whole different thing. It's almost twice as long as any previous symphony, and instead of beginning with a quiet introduction, it begins with two huge chords, and all of a sudden we've graduated from genteel classicism to powerful romanticism. That was Beethoven. He created titanic music. The next generation, Liszt, who played piano, Franz Liszt, a Hungarian who played piano for Beethoven when he was a kid, loved the idea of something new. He got together with a Frenchman named Berlioz, a German named Wagner. They were all in Paris, where everything was happening in music back then, as it kind of is today. And they decided to create music of the future. Liszt's contribution, music that tells a story. He called it a symphonic poem. Today we often call it tone poem, but a symphonic poem, music that will tell the story on its own. And the story he told 13 different ones. He was the first guy to do that. The first one he called symphonic poem was called Les Préludes, the Preludes. Everything in life is a prelude to the final ancient hymn, which is death. Not necessarily a happy thought, but the music is not unhappy. And he tells the story of a man's life, his love, his work, his military service, final victory as he passes into the world beyond. Liszt's revolution in music telling stories. Then there's Jennifer Higdon. Jennifer was in her mid-30s in the late 90s when she found out, living in Philadelphia, she found out that her brother, younger brother Andrew, was going to die very soon of a particularly bad skin cancer. Nothing could save him. And she was writing 6 different pieces for 6 different organizations. One went on to win the Pulitzer, one went on to win the Grammy, but she was totally consumed by the music and totally consumed by her brother Andrew. And she couldn't reconcile the two until she decided that one of the pieces would be about Andrew and what she felt about him. It starts mysteriously. She pictures, it's called Blue Cathedral. She pictures a cathedral in the air with mysterious sounds around it and mysterious visions coming out of it. And in fact, she asks 25 players in the orchestra to take these bells, these Chinese bells, and ring them as part of the piece. And then there are all sorts of chimes in addition. She prepares the piano so it sounds differently, and she creates an evocative world full of her emotion. I don't know any other piece in all of music in which a person's individual emotion tears at you as it does in Blue Cathedral by Jennifer Higdon. I think a new revolution in how emotion can be portrayed in music. So we have Beethoven, we have Liszt, we have Jennifer Higdon, we have 3 revolutions, and we've got a concert with the Rochester Symphony. It's going to be fun.